trap to at least make it a little bit more interesting. And that's exactly, well, you can't see right now, but that's exactly where they have placed their initial trap. It's just outside of hookah. So it's definitely going to be fun. It seems like Vitality have been in the lab, and they're looking to cook things up straight away.
Yeah, I'm very excited for all the different setups we could see. Starting defensive side as well. Kix is going to get to show us his whole arsenal. And immediately, a sonic sensor thrown down on B long as well. Some info there. Often, you're going to get through that smoke by flashing. When you run through on the other side, well, you're going to be stunned up. Here comes the drop, the stun as well. But the flash has managed to block a bit of vision. Kix, though, still able to get himself a double. Goes back out to try and deny the plant. Loses his life. But the numbers still sit towards Vitality for now.
Still a lot to find, but never mind. Sender so low on HP has almost eliminated everybody. And with the wall currently blocking off long, it has to be a full wraparound. There's just not enough time for Xiao to get anything done in this scenario. It is going to be that pistol going the way of Vitality, and off to a flying start for the side of Kix and Sender.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the trap work for Kix round one. That's something NAVI are going to have to think about as time goes on. Getting out of hookah can be a huge problem. Even the net thrown through to keep them nice and crouched. Such an easy target for him to drop. Those ones for Sender, though, not quite the same. I mean, he went ham. It looked like his bullets were magnetized to heads as they pick up a 1-0 start. Vitality now pick up rifles. And, of course, NAVI won't have the same sort of punch to pack. They're coming in with just some pistols, a light buy, and presumably a 2-0 lead for that defense. But you can never count these weapons out. They can get damage done, and Angel's showing us that. Runner already dropped. Not a huge loss for Vitality with one pistol in play, and that being towards A. They could recover it, but if they lose any players from here on out, it will start to get costly.
Yeah, now, funnily enough, there's not been many times where I've referenced Irish players, but I have got to watch a little bit of Deadlock on this map from Tempo, from Sweet and Sour, and he definitely had some cool ideas. I think they were actually running it alongside a breach, so you could kind of stun with the grab net, which I think is a nice little idea. But there are a lot of combinations that a lot of teams aren't really going to know how to deal with. You could imagine that Vitality have probably not scrimmed Navi because they knew they were going to be playing against them, so it's whether or not somebody else has been using this in the matches when facing off against Navi. For now, though, off to a flying start. Managing to get an opener around where not much is invested, just a few pistols to try and do some damage. And the rest of what Vitality have is all rifles. So any other players going down is a hefty price to pay.
Pistol up close, sometimes dangerous, but further away is where it claims its victim. This time safe, could be in trouble. A lot of players low here. It's manageable for him. With a Guardian, that rate of fire is not going to be as high, and there's two. As that smoke emerges, they could be staring straight at him. The steps heard, though. He's backed off. 10 seconds or so for them to get the plant in. And it is going to be secured, but the round doesn't look to be securable. Angel, he's doing so well now, but he doesn't know there's a player on the right. Tucked away, Trex claims the round, but it is a costly victory for Vitality.
Yeah, no, a lot of damage done. As I said, that wasn't a load of SMGs or players with pistols. That was rifles on the majority. So the fact that Navi have been able to clear out a lot of those guns is going to mean either a risky repurchase for Vitality into the next, or they're going to have to play a bonus with a lot of pieces missing. So not a bad scenario for Navi whatsoever. And I definitely think this is going to be an interesting battle in terms of dynamics. Obviously, the difference with the way that the Gecko is being run for Navi, Angel's going to be very aggressive, but also you have a secondary player with a flash. So you can have a lot more combinations, leaving a lot more players blind. Whereas on the other side of things, sure, you're going to have a lot more stopping util. I feel like a Viper alongside a Deadlock and a Brim is so much delay. There's going to have to be moments where Navi actually disrespect the Viper. The end of the round is great, but he also had so much impact with what he can do from the front.
Well, Team Vitality have fixed their issues, their in-ears, their sonic sensors were causing some problems, but now they're ready to roll. And early aggression from this attacking side as they look to spam through the smokes and deny that space Vitality took in the previous for free. And with the jump up above the smoke, Zipan has cleanly claimed that first kill. Vitality on the back foot without their duelist. As we said, there will be some weaknesses. We still see Kix come in on a Sheriff, but they're in pretty fit fighting form on the side of Vitality. Navi obviously fully equipped, and Thrash is online.
Well, I think the main threat is if Sender or Kix get a kill, because Annihilation, what it's good for is basically getting you a frag. Like, if you can get a kill on the other side, you can catch someone in clutches, it's great. And the same for Orbital Strike, can be used so much in denial. This Thrash, though, So much information. The TP through is great, though. The cover wasn't really there. Xiao was expecting someone to come in from the other angle, and because of that, they've managed to get that kill for free.
Bit of a disaster after clearing out all this space, and now it's going to be cleared out further with Orbital Strike called into effect. Sender getting them that control as they quickly reclaim Bath, but 1v1 duels elsewhere as Trex is dropped and Heaven now isolated. Kicks needs to make a decision. He falls back to fight, but the Sheriff in hand, it wasn't enough. Sender, though, emerging from the smoke for one, safe on another, and that is where the story ends. For a couple weaknesses, Vitality still come in. They have one hell of a fight to them. 11 HP on Sagetsu, and there was still only 2 alive for NAVI. It's close to start this game.
Yeah, I like the fact as well, I'm now just looking for deadlock utility. 2 players actually get caught in the net, like, just from Heaven. You see them hesitant, that's why it takes them a little bit longer to plant, because they're just crouched on the ground like, yeah, I've got to remove, I can't just sit here and wait for this to carry on for the rest. Again, utility they're probably not going to be massively used to playing against, but they do manage to get themselves around. The deadlock ult of Annihilation is online. I think it sounds a lot more badass than it is.
Yeah.
It's all right. Oh, I don't think it's amazing.
It's decent. It's situational also. I'm gonna find a situation for it to connect. Get that cocoon up and running. We'll see how it develops. Round 4. Thrash out of play. We saw Angel use it, lose his life. This time it's Zipan before the net even falls on the ground. He's down and out. Dropped.
Sender clearly feeling confident in his own individual ability, that's for sure. Sagetsu looking to potentially try some of those Nats-esque lurks with the push alongside the screen. Basically looking to just try and take some control into lamps, but you can see for the most part that's been negated by the side of Vitality, and they're just using that Gecko utility for extra info. This fight could be everything though. Trex taking down Xiao, Smoke's gone, and now the rest of the players isolated as they head into the site.
With Angel dropped, he got a little bit aggressive. You can understand why. They need something to fall back in their favor in a 3v5, but now a 2v5 post-plant. No nade to work with on Artis, a snake bite for Sagetsu, but the poison orb isn't even on that spike. This is going to be raw fights. The flash didn't pop in time, and now an orb's gone up for Vitality, obscuring the vision. Artis spotted, spammed, and on 11 HP, he was not going to last very long. That is a 3-1 scoreline for Vitality and a very strong start. Considering the last few rounds, there's been closer moments. They almost scrapped back in round 3, but here, it's flawless.
And Andaluthia flawless at that, just to try and basically give them that extra boost going forward. Having the extra fight, as I said, like a lot of the problems Na'Vi had were over on this attacking side when they played up against BBL. But this was one of those rounds where a lot of it, I feel, was firstly just having knowledge that Zipan likes to try and take that hookah control. That's something that we've seen for quite a while. A lot of the Raze mains will be looking for that pressure, so they had that initial fight for it. But then after that, just an isolated duel 1v1, Xiao versus Trex, it's like, gets a little bit easier for them there.
Sagetsu, are you all right, bro? He's got an attack side outlaw here on Bind. Now, that's not something you're going to see too often. Can definitely bridge the gap if he can land a couple of shots, and being Sagetsu, they might even be headshots. For Vitality, it's something to be worried about, and the fact that Runner's gone down early, but the trade out for Angel seems worthwhile. They lose a lot of their utility that they would be very keen to use as it refreshes up. Safe, won't lose their Gecko util, staying alive, falling back to the A site, and leaving NAVI with no real opportunities to claim.
They've at least been able to get that rifle back. I'll give Artis something to play with in this round, and constant denial off the back of Trex's utility. Safe's definitely got to be a bit careful, already low on HP, but I feel like he's almost just baiting the knowledge of his teammate. They know that he's still here, and that takes that orb offline. It means that a little bit of extra space can be taken. However, still seems like they're a little bit hesitant of what direction they want to go in. 3 players now here ready and waiting for the defensive side as they finally look to make their push.
You don't imagine this is where Vitality want to commit all too much. Safe up top. He has his flash, his Dizzy back online. But it's the ult that's used. The Thrash thrown out. It won't get a lot of space. They can't capitalize on the back. Punish by Zipan was good, but with 8 seconds left, Spike down. They need a miracle to get away with this, and a couple of kills might have given them it if they had more time. The clock has run too far down. And so Kix clutches it out with 0 effort, 0 HP left.
It's of course the most Navi way to lose a round in a Red Bull clutch, just to run out of time. The old school team coming back to haunt them once again, but the fact is they do a lot in that round. That was mostly pistols, as you said, an outlaw, the rifle that I think they managed to get. It's not a bad round from them, it's just got to be a little bit frustrating. I think the rest of the players a little bit further behind Zipan, who ended up just trying to bait out that plant and dying because of it. And well, financially, it's not really too problematic for Vitality whatsoever. The Andalucia flawless in the previous round is going to leave them with plenty of cash to play with.
They've got the credits for days. Still Annihilation online for Kix, but when you look at NAVI, showstopper, the big one for Zipan. Now, I've seen Zipan have games where he picks up multi-frags every time he pops that rocket. I've also seen games where he takes himself down.
Yeah.
So
they showed a clip of it in the pre-show. So
you never know what you're going to get with this guy. But more often than not, he's a terrifying player to face off against. A wide swing. Angel got tagged. He's down to 21, but look at the space taken. That nade. It forces runner in the open. The spray is good, and the sight is theirs. They even used the showstopper here for more. And this could find its mark. It's a player up close. No, he goes the wrong way. Shot in the back. Safe does well. They've actually got a little bit of a chokehold on the site now, able to get back sight for free. And NAVI are forced way back.
Over there.
Trying to find something with the ultimate. Maybe able to catch on to Artis. I don't think it has. He's going to be able to hold on to that position. Clearing him would have been huge. Now in this 2v3 scenario, it's definitely not getting easier. Angel retrieving that operator. Kix already tagged low and safe. Desperately trying to isolate this. The problem is they need to get someone onto that spike and onto it soon. And actually they're going to use the orbital strike. Navi just wanting to make sure they confirm this round. Didn't really seem like there was much of a chance, but it's understandable with how far away some of the players were.
Hey, in terms of playing the numbers game, I think that's worthwhile for the side of Vitality. Safe could have went TP, just got out of there and saved the weapon for free. Instead, he taps that spike, trying to bait them into either dying to the spike, taking a fight against him, or, as I think was best case scenario, getting rid of that orbital strike. That's huge. It opens up so many little angles on the map that they would be hesitant to take, knowing that they have that as a reaction. Instead now, the cost of a round that was already basically lost, they've taken a big ultimate out of their hands. Viper's Pit, though, online for NAVI. That could certainly still claim them site control, but with an orbital strike of their own, Vitality could fight right back. An interesting crossroad in the map with credits running low on the side of Vitality. This could be NAVI right back in the game.
Yeah, the stun is on the other side, but they've already destroyed the sensor. And Angel with a double opener. We talked about how aggressive he can be on the back of this Gecko. It's almost like a quasi-duelist for the team. He's not going to be able to detain Sender at the back of the site. And actually, Sender's still looking to go forward. He's been tagged up by that snake bite, but I don't even think they know he's here. They will now. And actually, the swing comes out from Angel. Doesn't really have any support off the back of it. Orbital strike, I think, is going to be used into that back corner, which could cause problems for Sugetsu, but he survives just in front of it. And now it's left all on to save, but it's so aggressive from Sugetsu. A little bit unnecessary, and he's given Safe a chance.
He has. That time, I mean, it's decently far gone. But for Safe, being able to put the wingman on to defuse, he has a chance. That chance is slipping away as he clears these angles and finds no enemies, no attackers. And now, it's open combat. He has no idea where they're going to swing from. And now he does. Information coming a little too late. NAVI push up to 3, and the credits now not looking too good for Vitality.
I like that as well. I think it's Xiao swings to shoot Little Bro, and then Zipan. So obviously that's where you're looking, and then Zipan instantly swings to kill the player. Like just nice little bit of timing coming out of NAVI. But also, this is, again, it's the good and bad of Angel. Like, you're going to see him go down early in a lot of rounds, but you're also going to see rounds like that. Just full sprint, takes down 2. I think maybe even he's a little bit surprised about how much he just got away with there, and currently sits top of the board for his team. NAVI climbing back. As I said, versus BBL, what they really struggled with was those attacking side rounds. They only managed to get 4. Well, they're already 75% of the way there.
facing off against Pistols. A real chance to at least match the record. And for Navi, I like what they've been doing. There's a lot of these attack rounds that just play out as defaults. Sometimes they haven't been winning the opening duels, but you know these things can often come down to coin flips. You run that round again, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I like that they're setting themselves up so they always have a fallback. The rounds where they went hookah, lost a player, rotate back to A. This time, a minute on the clock. They're making the call with a minute 10 or so. And they're going to go towards the B site. Full stack up. Flash out from safe. Gets a tiny bit of information. And it's actually got the rotations underway. But they will be arriving a little bit late to the party. Let's see if these players can hold on to control. A good start from safe, though. This actually might buy time for the full rotations by the time they make it out. And Navi, if they don't second guess hitting this site, they could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, the net has slowed them even further. So much delay utility available. That's the one thing they did have in this round.
Nice.
Unfortunately, they do not have the weaponry. Kix is going to get one for free with the bullets running out, but there's nothing more. Sugetsu cleaning things up with the 3K. Bone Cop would love that.
Born call, you said, yeah?
Born called.
But look, at 4-4, Navi have done incredibly well. They've regained control of this economy. Vitality were off to a flying start, 3-1 on the back of a flawless round. They had all the credits to work with. They had ultis coming online first, but we're neck and neck on a side that Navi have struggled on previously. They've got to be feeling confident, happy, and with a lot of credits in their back pocket, they've got at least one more buy as a buffer, probably two. Last stage of this half is going to be Vitality struggling to regain control. Viper's Pit and Thrash online for them. In the previous rounds, Navi have had the edge in terms of ult economy. Now it's Vitality's turn, and that was a risk.
Showstopper went away as well. Artist looking to take that fight, and it gets tagged down to just 10 HP, and then still hits both shots.
And runs in. Look at him go. Hasn't even popped his ult.
This is definitely going in Kukuka's Artist rather than a Nardis? Nardis.
Spike planted.
I think we can workshop the name, I'll be honest. But that's an Artist round.
He's 10 HP.
True.
And look where he is. Artist is in the doorway. He is beckoning them forth.
He's got pop flash, what do you mean? He's getting ready.
Of course.
If that killed him. A little bit close.
Artist, I told you to get back.
Of course it's Angel throwing the util as well.
Of course.
You know that if he died, Angel would have gone, what do you mean? Your fault.
Yeah. 10 HP, fall back.
I didn't see you.
Post plan. You're in the smoke.
But, wow, what is looking like a flawless round in terms of Navi's survival. I said 4-1 down to this. Looking like a unit. The entries as well from Artist, like he might not be on the duel list, but again, they have so many players that it was sort of mentioned by Salah again that they have anybody who can play a duelist. I actually feel like Navi do as well, even though they shouldn't. Like, Angel should not play a duelist.
You reckon?
But as an opening player, I think when he wins those duels, you go, oh, maybe he could do it. Maybe he could.
Hey, listen, Angel is a space taker. It doesn't matter what role
Wait until
he's
close
playing.
in the game. Not too characteristic of him. Normally someone that is up there on the board, and especially for the attacking half, you really need him online. He's going to be the space taker.
For sure. I think a lot of the time here, he's gone aggressive, and we found trades at worst for his position.
Sure.
We'll keep a closer eye as time goes on, but I do not expect to see him finish near that scoreline he's sitting on. Now, here's a Viper's Pit used just in time, so the ult won't affect it. Drex, though, has been spotted. And that is a beautiful take from Navi. The flash through revealed him, gave them an iota of where he might be, and they just dive right down on top. Bet they wish there was a deadlock trap this round.
Spike planted.
Oh, that is bleak, but Sender, given a couple of opportunities, Sugetsu eventually will play it safe. Little bro may even find him within. They know exactly where he was. Sender didn't shoot it because he was worried, and Sugetsu just lands every shot placed in front of him. Finally, well, this time Runner isn't down, but he's left at a 1v4 turned 3. Try and bring this back for his squad, but being watched by so many angles, no real opportunity for them to use this showstopper. And that's the thing that's a bit frustrating. I feel like they had the utility to try and get back into this round, but they wanted to play ahead of it. They wanted to play aggressive. I don't think you can do that versus Navi.
No, it's probably not the squad for it. And I see what you mean. You know, you have your wall to section off the control. You have your pit to retake some space. There's a lot. Well, this also incredible for Ziban to have that kind of precision. Moves right to the backside, turns immediately to face the player. Knew exactly what was
cheating
going
fool.
on. Good read. Full read on the situation, and maybe that's thanks to Angel.
6-4. Trying to take this one into their own hands a little bit. The knife was about to take it away, so had to be fired off. And it has found absolutely nothing. Even the space taken has to be immediately given up. You can't fight for that control any longer.
No, that's one of the things. If you move this down towards B long, even hookah control, take mid, these are angles that you can section off into little choke points, but A mid is never going to happen. There's just too many angles they can come back from. You're way out of pocket holding that angle. Now, for NAVI, they've decided to retake the space slowly, giving respect to Vitality, although I feel like that might come to an end soon. Angel, 2 players on the other side. The idea for Trex to take the fight and Runner
put his crosshair on him through the wall.
to take it right after. This should be an easy trade. In fact, the flash will give it away. It might just get Runner ready to swing. In fact, they've fallen back, giving up the space, focused on Zip, and Runner has got 3 in this round. He's shown up and just in time because Vitality need this. NAVI are running away with the game, and now at 6-4, finally there's some fight in the defenders. Up goes Artis and down right after, 6-5.
Yeah, what a round from Runner. That's what we like to see. As said, it's uncharacteristic of him to be down the bottom of the board, having a quiet showing, and for him to just be able to set up, clear out 3 players as they try and cross into the site. And again, like leaving Angel a little bit isolated, but he started to hit the shots. So they were very quick to look for those trades. Just unable to get them over the line. 6-5. Still though, I am curious for this attacking half of Vitality, because I look at this composition as one that has an awful lot of delay, an awful lot of opportunities on the defense, and for attack, I'm mainly looking at Runner and Safe. Like everything else, I feel like kind of sucks for the attack side. So I am curious how they're going to get things over the line. I think that actually getting this level at 6-6 is going to be fairly important for them.
Ultimate ready.
I suppose for kicks, maybe that utility. My main thought on it has always been post-plant. You can do a lot with it, but
it's getting in. That's
the issue,
scary
right?
thing.
Breaking through Navi's defense will be something else, but we'll see that after the next round. For now, the final of the half, an operator in the hands of Runner, but the same for Angel.
Of course,
Element.
and Artis.
Naturally. Artis makes sense. Angel, a little bit different.
You
They
say
have
that
the
to
extra
his face.
credits. No, not a chance.
Say that to him in the post-match interview. We'll see what he says.
There it is. I was going to say, is there no spare rifle?
Yeah.
But yes, there was indeed, sat on the ground. So just the one up on the way through. They've traded out Safe to start with, so that flash that they've been using on A for Vitality won't be in play. And I think they're just going for a retake setup because of that. They haven't got the early information. They haven't got the manpower. They stack B. Now they'll give up this plant with a double flank being the idea.
They don't currently have much. Annihilation is available, which if it can pick off one player, that could work, but never mind. Sugetsu's been caught from behind anyway. Not having much. The problem is, it might be about to switch positions. Rifle picked back up. Nice shots out of Angel. And it is going to leave things down into this 2v2 scenario. Coming in from different positions. Trex looking to make his way through all of the utility. Molotov available for Xiao. This is the thing. Him in the post plant's always going to be deadly. A safe pair of hands. And while they've got to now try and get onto this one, and they think the time's going to allow for it. Needs to be right back on it, and it isn't going to be happening. Xiao will even just sit back and watch as they win themselves the final round of the half.
Well, considering the situation we were in, 5 rounds into this game, NAVI have done one hell of a job in recovering that. You spoke about their attack side struggles before, Tom.
Yep.
I think they've done enough to make up for that in our minds, especially considering they're 7-5 having lost the pistol. Very strong half from them, and now they move to their defense where, like you say, I'm not too certain that Vitality have a comp that you would describe as built for the attack.
Yeah, I think that especially, again, like going back to Deadlock, there's combinations that you can run, like especially with the grav net. Like if you're going to hit someone with it, have a nade combo. But again, I feel like a lot of that is easier on your defense. Like if they're running through a choke, you hit them with it, and then there's something else coming in. A lot of the time with the defensive side, you'd have to have a specific player in mind to pick out. So I am going to have Safe and Runner again. They're the focal points. They're the players I'm looking at to do a lot of the work, because having a Viper and a Deadlock, well, you're going to have some pretty heavy lurks, I'd imagine.
He wants nothing to do with that fight. Vitality aren't looking to push just one angle, though. As we see on the map, they're very spread out. Fortunately, that means there's not many players here to defend against this push. NAVI straight through the teleporter, but Runner! Another triple for him, showing up here and now. And giving Vitality a second lease of life in this pistol. It's a 2 versus 2. Runner's taking some damage. He's already used up his boom bot as well. And they don't have any information on Xiao and Artis. And it's Xiao and Artis. Quite a combination to try to take down.
This is almost going to be a game of chance, because Vitality, the reason they're taking so much time is because, of course, they will have had the expectation that maybe somebody will have rotated over. And for the side of NAVI, they're slowly walking up behind them. Now, they definitely had the foresight to think, okay, there could have still been someone in hookah. So that's definitely an angle that they're going to want to try and keep an eye on, especially now with the knife coming out of it. Both players caught. That gives Artis enough info that there isn't anybody back towards Xiao. Doesn't need to clear any of these positions. And while they're trying to still clear in towards that defender spawn, because they are yet to spot where Xiao is.
Look at the plant position, though. I mean, it's not like you can stop them from spawn. They have a nade online for the side of Vitality that could maybe push them off that defuse, and NAVI are taking a while to claim the space.
Smoke's down.
This could be a little bit awkward. Let's hope that nade is well placed. It's enough to force them out, but now they know exactly where Runner is. His 4th kill already locked in, but the defuse is underway, and the smoke will obscure his vision. Good connection. And now he knows it's being stuck again. The spray through, it's everything, but he's missed. The reposition of Xiao is enough to claim victory. The pistol goes to NAVI.
To scatter from my stuff.
And the ace is stolen out from under Runner's nose.
Yeah, there was a world where he gets an ace and still loses. Again, just the gall of someone like Xiao. That is the thing with him playing this Brim, is like, he is such a safe pair of hands. Like you saw in the post plant just around prior. This grab net was unbelievable, by the way. Both players just had to sit there like they were a turret. They turned into a KJ turret for a little bit, just sitting on the ground, and left them vulnerable to all of the utility. You're seeing the assists for kicks. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough in the end. Come on now. You're going to see, again, investment here. 3 rifles, a pistol for Angel, even a judge. For the other side of things, okay, they're able to get a few pistols on the board and attempt to try and do some damage. We've seen them be talented with these guns. It's just, can they make this costly enough? Because now NAVI have a chance to really springboard themselves into this map.
This is it. Yeah, that pistol represents so much. Now, obviously, we saw NAVI on their attack side build up the rounds later. Again, that comp for Vitality will cause some problems potentially.
Spike down.
Clean to start. Maybe not to finish. But 1 rifle dropped is nothing. They can claim that back. Another, though, and it starts to get a little bit risky. Angel on his way in, but he's only got a ghost, and they can isolate this fight. Not a very favorable one for him. And Trex has even picked up Zagetsu. This is getting very scary. And finally, the scares subside, but what's left behind is a NAVI that only saved 2 rifles. I was waiting to see if Angel picked one up, and he did. He was able to get there in time, but still costly for the defense.
Now, Angel obviously did just eco, so they might be able to drop 1 over, and then the other 2 players are going to play a little bit less in this round, just go for the pistol. So it's definitely not going to be as dangerous a round as NAVI would like. But yeah, again, good work. And I think we're seeing more and more the effectiveness of that grab net. Just that's the whole reason that Artis gets kills in that round, is because he's trying to take out the stupid pin to the grab net. 9-5, though. A must-win round for Vitality. Like, you're coming up against 3 rifles. Okay, Artis with a pistol is no slouch. Neither is Sugetsu. So I don't think that it's going to be easy. But if they're not going to win this round, I don't expect them to win any of the others either.
There won't be many more to talk about. The left side left open by the boom bot. It's cleared, though. Vitality again, same thing we've seen many times before. They're not committing to the early bit of map control they claim. They're going, they're poking, and they're deciding later. The problem is, look at the rotations out of NAVI. They've left B now for a 4-man A stack, 3 pushed up close. Zipman in the corner, but Artis is caught. A snake bite. Oh, that's going to catch both players, I believe, and the Flash is giving it away. They know there's someone else there. Vitality steamrolling this round. They shouldn't expect Angel. 3 players pushed up like that? Yeah, you're knife out going into this fight, and a chance for more. Angel's picked 2. They're back in the round, and Xiao's on his way, but Angel doesn't care. The flash gives him a bit of space. The Mosh will stop them claiming the spike for at least a moment longer, even stopping them from fall. One, he got a kill! Safe stepped into it! They got the spike and they're out, but look at how much damage Angel has done. It's a 2v2, and Xiao's on the way. He's so quick, having already been in spawn. He gives it away with the molly, and it lands not for that plant. So at least the post plant will be set up by Vitality.
Oh, Angel into the 1v1. I don't know how he's winning these fights. Trex should have had him dead to right, and now Angel takes control. We talk about this man a lot of the time, all for the wrong reasons. But what an absurd ace to give NAVI their 10.
Talked about any player there being able to man a duelist. And after that, give this man a Reyna. What was that? I mean, here, catch him by surprise. Catch him by surprise. Okay, all good. That is silly. That one was silly. And after that, again, just unbelievable play. Look at the confidence on this man.
I died.
I think I made exactly, yeah. Yeah, there's not much else to say, Safe. These things happen to the best of us. Talk about not being familiar with the deadlock utility. Maybe he needs to run against a few more geckos.
We talk about like players having like life games. Angel might be having his at 34 years old. When does it stop? Oh god. Talk about talented players. Angel has taken the biscuit today.
Surprised we almost don't get a pause after that to calm down.
Yeah,
if there was anyone else.
It's got to be infuriating. What was that, 2v5?
Yes.
The way they lost that round was mostly, well, it was completely just the fights versus Angel. Nice combo. That's what we wanted to see. Grab net in play. Angel's still around though. They might even just showstopper him. No, never mind. He's still kicking. He really is having a phenomenal game. Got himself the ultimate online. Kicks looking to try and respond. Been spotted. It's going to be the flash to try and help Xiao get the kill, but Angel's doing it all on his own. 8 kills now in 2 rounds. Finally, he's been put in the grave. But it didn't even matter. Talk about combos. Everything thrown at Kicks. 11 and 5. They're running away with this.
There's a moment where Angel's eyes were wide with shock, and now he just looks awake, wide awake. 19 and 10 on this Gecko, on the IGL. He's out fragging players like Zipan, Artis, even on the other side. The entirety of the Vitality squad we respect as individuals. He's making it look easy. An old man's game, evidently.
This is the thing. There's a lot of players I feel like are getting stick at the moment because they take very risky fights. And I feel like, for example, there's been talks about people like Redgar, like IGLing.
Let's hope so.
You know, after this match as well, this is never going to hit the end of this. Just I like cuddle you, bro.
I mean, he's going to be, we're both initiators. I'm just better. You know, what can I say? Who do you think should win? KO or a Gecko? It should be the KO, right? Oh god, I wouldn't want to be Artis. Well, Angel noticeably stepped out of the mosh pit. An interesting move. Safe's taking notes. And it looks like we've got a cocoon. It's Artis that's being caught, taken away, and well, he will not be living to see another day. In fact, he'll be donating his weapon over to the side of Vitality. You now stand a chance. Kicks has done well, but here comes the little homie. And unfortunately gets nothing. It's used preemptively, thinking the push was on its way. The wraparound from Zipan. Oh, barely missing the pixel of Kicks' head. Blasts him out and takes him out of the round. Showstopper used, but he's caught. An immediate trade out as Trex now moves to cover his teammates' retreat. The A site plant is the objective. How much can Trex do, or can he slip out alive? It looks like the answer is to the latter question. The answer is yes, he's away. He's safe, and the plant will be secured with a post-plant Viper's Pit available, and I presume about to be used, especially with Safe's lack of weaponry. Doesn't look like it, though.
There's not really anything to be found. I guess just so wary to be caught with that ultimate in hand that it might not necessarily be worth the risk. It does leave Trex with the majority on his shoulders, although with Angel so low, that frenzy actually becomes ever more deadly. A real opportunity for Safe to pretty much put this to bed, but just peeking those angles, Angel has been that star entry fragger, been that star duelist. Trex just trying to hide on the edge of the poison orb, but eventually he's going to have to move. Doesn't have the utility to play with, just hoping he can get something off the spam. It's already to harm, but Angel just spams straight back. Sugetsu, he has no fear. There was no letting go of that defusal. He knew what he needed to do. And once again, NAVI, they're going to clutch out this round, 12 and 5. As we mentioned, it was 4-1.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? An economy was stacked for Vitality. You know, it wasn't like they make one mistake, you trip, you stumble, and you fall. No, you trip, you stand back up straight, and they knock you back on your ass immediately. You know, I respect it as well. Like you're saying, Sagetsu just sticking it. When Angel's 21-10 and he goes, stick it, you stick it.
Yeah,
you know, you start getting hit, you stick it.
You're getting a slap on the back of the neck if you don't.
And he got it, man. Angel has been on fire. I think I heard him earlier, right, in one of the replays go, I'm full cheating. And I'm starting to think he might be telling us something. I mean, check this man's PC. He's unbelievable. And one more round needed out of 7 for Vitality. They can at least take solace in that this is Navi's map pick. And they came in with an interesting composition. They tried something new, and it hasn't worked out. Often, that's what you need with these new comms. Test it in an official and find out your flaws. Unfortunately, I don't know how much you learn from a game like this against Navi. Don't have them just barrel down towards you. Okay?
I think a lot of it came down to that defense. We didn't really see what we needed.
Like, what is this guy doing?
So, one of the players in that 1v1 fight is a young star that's just come up for the tier 2. The other won the fight and is 34 years old.
Orbital struck back. Okay, backwards. I thought they were going to be firing out into Angel. He was about to get another 3K, but it just delays a little bit of time.
Yeah, they've still got that Viper's Pit. Might be able to use that to try and drop out of Hookah. With a little bit of extra space. They also have the Thrash to try and take themselves a little bit of extra space. And actually, Xiao's kind of stuck in the mud, but they might just be stuck with Angel, waiting on the edge. So is Xiao. Just looking for anybody. Angel's been cleared. That's something, but they haven't spotted Xiao somehow. Trek still manages to win that duel, leaving it into a 3v4 scenario. Trek's in trouble, taking a lot of damage, and that pit will fall if he goes down with it. But the players defending on the other side, catching them as they try and push through. And Zipan and Sugetsu, well, they're going to fall as well. A great flash coming out of safe. Can Sugetsu make this costly? Can he get some orbs?
Looks like he's just going to be hightailing it. Can't even catch them as they exit with the pit up. Good usage of it. We thought maybe it would be used in the previous round. Instead, here it is. And the success found leaves 12-6 on the scoreline. Half the score of Navi. It's still quite a path back. But there's a way developing in front of them. Now the Thrash, as we see end of round, was still online for safe, but that was because he picked it back up. So that won't be there to work with. The only ultimate online for the next round is in Vitality's hand. It's Senders, and it's the Orbital Strike. Could clear out a lot of space, and often when you see that Orbital Strike, Tom, you're going to move towards the A site with it. And I feel like for Vitality, this isn't somewhere they want to sit back and use those ults later. You probably want to just come out, off rip, pop it in, and try to get some momentum going. We'll see what they decide on.
Sugetsu as well. Viper Operator. He's not necessarily the player I would have expected to pick up this gun, but just looking to try and lock down some more aggressive positions. Like we've seen a lot of the combos that Vitality have done have been in order to take someone out on the site. Runner has... I think he was on top of the truck. That's the only thing I can assume. Safe. It's just absurd. Like, taps his little buddy to get them back into position. Zipan's going to be able to find one, but he's desperately low, and Kicks will be quick to trade. Still, in these clutch scenarios, Navi have been problematic.
Yeah, Artis is going around the world, but it looks like it's being spotted. Safe, though, the first target, 30 HP. They're coming up on the fight right now, and as we didn't see, Artis falls. So for Safe, a third kill in this round, and the Heaven Control that we spotted is going to be given up as Sugetsu decides to back on out and move to the B site, carrying forward the op to the next round and giving Vitality a 7th, a way back in, some momentum, and wind in their sails at last. But how long can it go, Tom? This is it. Navi are going to be building up ultimates, and eventually you run into that Angel that we've seen round and round again.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. But the thing is, that was a big round from Safe. And that's the thing, he's still been putting up numbers. Like, to be able to bait them in and find both kills is just a huge little piece of individual prowess. They were ready for what has been an aggressive defensive side from Natas Vincere, and well, now 5 rounds, still a bit of a lengthy way to go to get themselves to overtime after what was a big streak, other than the one blip in round 11.
As directed.
Thanks,
The question is, do they sort of have the stones to take over the line? And we're actually going to see that operator now switch over into Zipan's hand. He was already getting the opener when it came to that mid presence in the previous round, but this is going to be a different dynamic for them to face off against. I don't actually know if Sugetsu shot the op in the last round, so they might not be expecting it.
I think you might be right. I don't think a shot was fired off. Definitely not when he was saving it. And not here starting out the round for Zipan. Forced back by the snake bite that came through the roof up top. In comes the wingman. Zipan will avoid him. And you know that player wants to go back and claim him again. Safe was able to catch them off guard last round as he went to reclaim his utility. This time he dodges a bullet, swings out wide, and takes another. Beautiful stuff for Safe. And he's not stopping anytime soon with Angel spotted on the flank. It's all left onto Xiao. And this 13th round will evade Navi once more, short of heroics from this man. Not heroics we've never seen before from him, but ones I don't think he's even going for. In the spawn, and presumably a save will be called after this plan comes in.
Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised.
They need the credits too.
See them go for this, especially in a 1v5 where there hasn't really been any damage done whatsoever. But yeah, it does look like Vitality are now starting to build into this one. Some solid utility, they're aware. I think that's what I'm liking. Oh god, okay. That's not what I wanted to see from Xiao. And Andaluthia flawless in the end for Vitality as they continue that climb. But yeah, I think they're very aware of the aggression that's coming in for Na'Vi. They've slowly started to adapt and basically wait, clear those angles in a lot of the aggressive positions and make things a little bit more difficult. But again, they've had a lot of these cool utility combos. By having the snake bite with the grab net and the paint shell just to clear out a player from the backside. It leaves Zipan completely isolated, and that's why you see Safe so confident to actually swing in here.
Well, that momentum that was read by Vitality earlier on is going to come to a halt.
And then from then onwards, whoa, as we saw mentioned, runner 1 and 6, that's changed. He's now 17 and 14, sits at the top of the board for the team, and seems to be coming more and more online as the rounds go by. The judge from Angel, thankfully, considering he's playing B long, is gone.
Yeah, he gave it to Xiao. They little swapsies. So Xiao could play inside of Hookah instead, but Vitality are going to be avoiding all of those shenanigans on B. Instead, looking at the A site. Orbs just being claimed. Zipan just one away from a showstopper, so that's online for next round. Thrash will be there too. The buy round out of Navi will pack a punch, maybe even matching that of Vitality. Now though, not so much. What? Okay, Angel has used Thrash. He's committed it, he's gone through the TP, he's found nothing with it, now he's stuck in a long-range fight. At least he's got a rifle.
Spike planted.
But stuck in a long-range fight, trapped inside a TP with 30 HP. His life is limited, to say the least. Looks like Sugetsu might grab at least. Oh, that was suboptimal, to say the least.
They baited the hell out of him with the sensor. I love it. Just basically put him in a position. And while they are isolating all of these duels, it's going to be the one kill coming out from Xiao.
Well done.
But this has been a good round for Vitality, and I like it. They've got a lot of little tricks to just make things more awkward. 4 rounds in a row. They need another 3 to bring this back to overtime. And they didn't use any of their ultimates there. In fact, as you said, the only one used was by Angel.
Which really surprised me in that round. They're already a man down. He said, no, screw it. Now, I guess the idea being that could have won them the game. Having already lost Artis in that position, there's a rifle down. He can TP, take the rifle. And if he catches 2 players, they're right back in the game. Things have been working for him so far. The stars have been aligned every time, but this time it was cloud cover. It blocked out any potential. 3 rounds now needed for Vitality. 3 in a row. Doesn't matter how many credits they've got in their back pocket. They've got enough. That's all you need to know. 3 ultis, like we said, and it will be Thrash used right off rip. And in fact, Zipan, showstopper back, canceled the Thrash. Orbital strike down for space. Vitality tried to claim it. A mesh of backside, but Kix is caught. This is pure chaos with another showstopper thrown through. Navi, I mean, they've fallen back. They've given the space. They've allowed these ultimates to fall flat, essentially. And now they've got to retake on more even ground.
And they've got a huge HP advantage as well. Like, a lot of the damage has actually been done onto the Vitality side. Safe and Trex on their last legs. Flash over the top will garner some space. And as 2 of them fall, Trex looking like he might be just trying to play some of those post plants, but he doesn't have any utility to play with. Sender will at least land himself a shot. Trex has found another, but he's dead to rights. It's going to be left onto the IGL.
Molly.
Still has a molly to play with. to try and slow them down that little bit more. Being fired out, they should be able to get this one to half, however. In fact, Xiao might even just opt to stick it the whole way. It's not going to land in time. It's just that little bit too slow. And Vitality's comeback will end up being a fake, a bit of a whimper. In fact, the Molotov didn't even land. We didn't need to land a slow-mo at the end, but ability because they're going to have switched over to so many different roles. So it's kind of one of those scenarios where realistically things have changed so drastically that I can't really have the same expectation for them. For NAVI, we literally haven't seen it. So it's one of those positions where this is brand new. Obviously, again, like these are players that we've seen for such a long time. Angel going onto the Gecko still. It seems like Xiao might be a Brimmy main at this stage. And for the defensive side, we're still seeing those aggressive pushes. I'm excited to see Kicks back on a Sentinel. It's something back in the day, like you go back to like Bonkar teams, stuff like that, like Bonk. He was playing the Sentinel on that, and he was pretty damn good at it. Trex also going back onto an Initiator. So these are sort of where I would say is a little bit more comfortable, other than maybe Safe on Viper. I enjoyed his Omen on this map.
Now, it looks like they don't expect Safe to be quite this close. He's heard a couple steps rotating back, and he's hearing the final ones now. So a quick read for Vitality in the early round. The Navi have taken this elsewhere. Safe is on a quick flank as well. From any utility that could spot him far, far away. So these rotations can come in much, much quicker for Vitality. Now sure that it's not a B hit. Start to focus their way up, but they may still be forced into that retake. No way to deny the plant from coming through, and there's no point overextending. Runner, I just now noticed, tagged down to 2 HP. Not going to be very effective on the way back through, but he still has a nade to work with. And we'll see that firing through as the squad looks to barrel in, but Zipman, oh, he's thread the needle, allowing the 2 HP player past, and he won't get much more for his trouble. In fact, Vitality come out ahead in these fights, and they continue to. A 4 versus 2 already, and the spike's being tapped. They have to swing through, reveal their positions, both now known. With those known quantities, all that's left is for the formality of Vitality to swarm them and take them down, defuse the spike under their nose, finally claim the kill. Well handled, 1-0 for VIT.
Yeah, good job by Vitality. I think especially getting straight back in after what was a map that they eventually managed to start bringing it back on by him, but ultimately looked done for quite a while. A bit of a fake comeback in the end. I'll be interested to see how much Navi actually invests into this one. Obviously getting the spike down and a couple of kills, it normally means that you'll have a pistol or 2 on the board just with the extra finances. But again, this is a map that, as I said, Vitality were playing it during kickoff. The roles very different in how they're playing. Even the players that were there before, they've completely switched it up other than Runner. He's the only one that's keeping things the same. Oh, it's definitely going to change the dynamic. And I think especially for Safe, like sure he was a Sentinel in the past, but I feel like a lot of what he talked about was like agents that allowed him to get a little bit more aggressive. And that's what Omen did for him. It allowed him to play forward in a lot of these defensive rounds, similarly to what Sender is doing right now. But in this role, he's going to have to be much more passive. I don't know how much that will really play into his game style.
Well, it's an important aspect of being a pro on a team, right? Is being able to change up how you like to play it. Fit whatever piece you need. Well, Kicks has been dropped right off rip. Angel grabs one. Control of C given up as it's claimed by some Navi utility. And Navi are not rushing their way in. Instead, they're taking their time, looking for extra opportunities. Rotations eventually come through, and it will be onto a fairly light C site. Just Sender here to try to hold stock. His last smoke
left.
already put through. A paranoia, hard for him to follow up on. In fact, I think he will just hold that for the retake.
Yeah, I think this is the right way to play it. We've seen a lot of teams as of recent opt to go for retakes. I am a little bit perplexed. I guess, yeah, they're just trying to deny the plant, but it is just going to be stuck. There's not really much that Angel can do other than getting that plant down, but yeah, I'm a little bit surprised the paranoia is used early. It's not going to matter, though.
Another nade.
Outlaw. Another nade. This should be all she wrote. A chance for Runner to ace the round. It is going to be getting him ever closer to having that showstopper, a second ace within this series already. One for him, one for Angel. Obviously, the star players of either side.
I mean, he was a sliver of HP away from having an ace on that last map as well, so fair play. I mean, look, Outlaw, best gun on the server, no doubt about it. And he's just proven it here. Couldn't do that with a Phantom, could you?
Yeah, you could do it with an op, though.
Nah, he wouldn't be able to peek the angle in time. They would have headshot him. Don't know what you mean, Tom.
Right.
It's all about the movement speed.
Yeah.
But,
So
2-0.
you're a bit like listening to the VLR forums. It's just like people just saying stuff and hoping that something will stick.
Find wisdom anywhere if you look hard enough, Tom. Diamond in the rough.
Just like in certain TV series, you can find a lot of wisdom about helmets and taking them off.
All right, Tom. Again, we're not talking about the Halo TV series. We're not doing it. You're not baiting me into this. All right? I'm dodging those bullets. Like I was Neo in the remake. Well, Navi. Oh, hello. Under a little bit of threat here. This runner did grab one, but he goes down to the nade on the other side. Utility for utility trades. A life for a life. And a plant should now be secured for the side of Navi. They've got the space. They've got the util down. Even hearing the alarm bot up top. A lot for Vitality to deal with on the way back through. And a rotating Angel who will have a post-plant thrash to work with. I struggle to see Vitality getting away with this one.
That is the bonus. Thrash already being used. Sugetsu with a quick double. And that's already going to be one player tanked. Sender doing his best to try and avoid it. And Angel will put safe in the grave. Considering there was a showstopper online, not a bad round for Na'Vi at all. They're keeping that with 3 players alive, but there is still going to be a relatively comfortable purchase on the other side for Vitality. Rifles on basically every single player. Trex, I think just to get the extra utility, we'll have to go down to a Guardian, but we know that that's not too much of a problem for him, and especially with a lot of the paper-thin walls that we have. There's opportunities with that gun as well.
They are mine.
Well, the predictable start. You win the pistol, you lose the third, and now we're right back into the meat of things. Round 4, rifles for both. No ultis online. This is pure Valorant. And okay, Trex has taken Angel down through the smoke. As you said, Tom, not too much of a trouble for him on the Guardian. I didn't expect to see him open it through the smoke, but with a spam, but you know, he knows how to use the weapon.
Yeah, you can't even really normally when Angel is the opening kill, you have something to talk about, but
Toxin screen down.
they kind of had the setup for him to be able to cross. It just didn't quite work out.
Shadows traveling.
Obviously, the difference with this Brimmy as to other agents is selling those fakes. Not going to be as easy as what you can do with that Omen. Ardis as well, normally having much more of a setup. Like, you remember him on the KO was fairly aggressive, able to take opening fights. You don't really have that same expectation. Runner left completely blind, but he always seems to be good for one. Zipan's going to use the timing to try and take the space. He knows he needs to try and return this back to an even scenario. They go peeking against him, but it's timed well with utility. Sugetsu can get one, and Shao now doesn't even know where his opponents are coming from. Somewhat surrounded. He may have just realized where those final fights are coming from. Hits the first shot, just needs to get the last! The Shao Show returns with the Red Bull clutch.
Impeccable play by this man. I mean, he was dead to rights. Even the timing on the first peek, it seemed like Safe had it in the bag. Yeah, this one was a little ridiculous, but it seemed like Safe had it in the bag.
So was that.
They do well to chip away. I mean, that's shooting through a doorway. That's one thing, but this man finding the first up top, his third of the round there onto Safe, who had the timing on him.
I want to point out as well, so
Yeah.
if you notice, when the paranoia went through, he'd actually placed a molly which stopped the swing coming out from Safe because there was a Molotov down on the ground. So he actually saved himself and managed to isolate the duel.
Hello.
Oh, here we go. He got killed with the outlaw.
He did, and it's a very important kill as well. Right off the rip on attack side, moving into C-Long, taking that pick. Often that's going to be the only player there, and with it being a Viper, you might believe it. Maybe Safe is left to put down a Poison Orb, play Snake Bites to delay and fall back. We can see Sanders there too. Obviously, they have weaker weapons. You'll stack up like that. But the advantage here being that you often cause those rotations. It's a really nice angle to peek as well, because with Mound, in a lot of those angles, you get kind of a headshot angle to fight on. That's what a lot of the rifles will be taking, and that's just perfect for an Outlaw. Love to see it. 5th round for Vitality. Starts out a little shaky. There's ultis online for Navi if things get out of control. It's not really anything in terms of hardware. Short of Runner's rifle that's now given an opportunity to trade. But now they know exactly where he is. They flashed him and dived in. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, we'll leave kicks in pretty much an unwinnable position. If he can get a couple of kills, he will get himself ever closer to the lockdown, which, especially on this map, has high value in terms of being able to reclaim space. There's the first. 5 HP, expectation is low, but the thing is, normally I'd talk about going down to the spike, just not wanting to give those orbs on the other side. In this scenario, 66% of the players you die to only gain the credits for the kill, so I would much rather he actually just goes down and gets the orb for himself.
Oh, well, he's hearing some steps, so there's an opportunity to claim that orb, and there it is, cashed in full effect. NAVI, 3 on the board, attack side warmed up and looking good. The economy for Vitality now recovers. They get the rifles out. Runner's been having a decent game thus far. They've got to contend with not necessarily the Outlaw. They've got to contend with a bunch of ultimates on the side of NAVI now, as we'd already mentioned. They have an orbital strike, they've got a showstopper, and they've got a lockdown to work with. A ton of opportunities available to NAVI. Last round, they found that early opening peak on just a straight swing through C-Long, flash up top, and looks like we're getting the same thing this time around, and that will perfectly work with the aggression. That paranoia gives away the position to Sender. He's stunned and barely makes it out alive. A lot of utility expanded early on here from both sides. NAVI use up their nade, they're closing the distance, but some of that comes back online, like your stun, your flash from Angel.
Like that's the bigger thing, is like they can afford to expend all this utility because they have ults online. The push through has actually worked wonderfully. I almost wonder if we'll see, all right, it's going to be re-aggression towards the spawn from the side of NAVI, wanting to make sure they haven't completely lost that control, because the fact is they can get themselves into the site using a showstopper, maybe using an orbital strike. They would have liked to have the lockdown. That would have been the major one, but Sugetsu being left alone and isolated. But I like how proactive Vitality were in this round. Even still, though, there's a lot of players still to deal with.
Like you say, the proactivity has paid off. NAVI have spent so much time going back, clearing the A push, clearing the B push, ensuring there's not free information, ensuring they're not running into a stack. But even still, the rotation is coming in from Runner. He's on his way, and he'll be here on time. Stun in, showstopper pop, Zippan already bypassed the player. Sender managed to thread the needle, dodge the showstopper too. The damage is absolutely massive. NAVI, though, answer right back with 3 quick kills. And now another for Zippan! He's got all 3! Unbelievable round! I mean, back and forth as you like it, but that flurry of frags from NAVI, I'm gonna need a replay to comprehend what just happened.
I'm just starting to wonder now how many 2vx situations are going to be lost by Vitality. Beautiful. Again, this was a, what, 2v5. We saw one of those in the previous map as well, where they had such a huge advantage, and they give the fights to Zippan. They give him those opportunities, and oh, this man is going to take them all day long. They even place a lockdown. The idea there is that either you wait and they move, or you look for the players close. And why it's the same start again, looking for these early fights. It's not gone well. Angel's back with a vengeance. Runner's gonna try and stick the landing, try and do anything, but he has to retreat as well. And this time it's much worse than the last time they were pushed off this angle.
Oh, it's devastating. And look, even doubling down in... Oh God, it goes Zippan. And he hadn't spotted where Kix was, but apparently that just does not matter. There's almost nothing they can do wrong. The Thrash stopped Runner from being able to trade. He's not going to be taken out, but just look at this situation. I don't even expect Vitality to go for this. Their credits are very low. Those 2 rifles could be valuable, and there's next to no chance they get all 5 kills, especially with an orbital strike. And I do wonder last round, so popping down the lockdown, it's kind of an interesting idea, because sectioning them off, you're probably going to get an orbital strike on that lockdown. That laid in, it could go down. Their idea might be to take a 2v1 fight, force the orbital strike, and then he doesn't have it for post-plan to deny you the defuse. Ambitious, though. Very ambitious. And to run in immediately afterwards, guess they didn't expect Zippan to show up like that. In this round, he's done just the same. I mean, he goes in, gets blindsided by a player down in water, still wins the duel. His movement, a little bit too hard to hit.
The thing that's weird about it, though, is that the expectation of him not being there would be odd, because
I saw him there.
He already got the kills from the same position, like, to get into the site in the first place.
2 rounds ago.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing, Tom, because I hadn't even looked at the bottom of the scoreboard kill column. That's it's rough. 7 rounds in to have Artis doing next to nothing with his guns, and still you're winning the game convincingly. 5 in a row. Timeout for Vitality. They come up with this new idea, play aggressive on A, but they're spotted right away. Angel is, the man is unhinged. He's genuinely unhinged. He's swung out now. He's dead. He's dead. At least he will be removed from the round with a plethora of utility used. Navi are 4v4 because Trex fell in the meantime. Trex actually fell to get that kill, right? He went out to throw a C's and just got popped in the head by Angel.
Oh, Zipan is waiting for this push-up, but Runner wins the fight. The double-up works out. They still have a lockdown. They still have an orbital strike if they want to try and utilize something. They've got a lurking breach as well, which is not a sentence I have said too many times, and they're being isolated 1v1. The duels this time going in the favor of Vitality. But we've already seen many rounds like this slip. So I'm not counting my chickens just yet.
I almost just want to watch Sagetsu for the next few rounds, because this guy, he has 6.2K in the bank, and he's still rocking the Outlaw.
30 seconds left.
And I respect that on levels I can't even
player
communicate.
standing.
Artis, though, not going to have an end to his cold streak as he's dropped immediately. And now the Outlaw, as much as I'll sing its praises, Tom, he's up against 4 players and he's only got 2 bullets. So just pure math alone will show you that's
he should use his lockdown right now and win the round. Oh, he threw it away. Why did he do
he's
that?
lost the round now. That's a guarantee. Gonna have to stick that plant. There you go. Just about in time. They can't disrupt it, but they can hear it. They know exactly where he is, and they're splitting up. This is a little bit scary because Sagetsu's a player you don't want to give opportunities to in clutches, but even clearing that close left corner is too much to ask from this man. Safe closes the round. Don't do it, Safe. And a defuse is found to give Vitality a 3rd.
Yeah. After the pause, maybe just settling themselves a little bit. I like the aggressive setup, even if it didn't necessarily come to fruition in the way they wanted it to. The plan was always to have the paranoia, have the nade, and have the C's. It just came in a slightly different order because of what Angel decided to do while going for a jumping headshot over the top of a box.
Which I don't think I've seen many people, if any, attempt in this game.
No.
Very rare.
Mainly because it shouldn't work, but you know, it does occasionally. Even still though, as mentioned, no problems to invest into this one. 4 ults online as well for Vitality, so if they were going to springboard themselves back into the map, this would be one hell of a way to do it. And with Runner popping off, you kind of hope that's what's going to happen, because he's been having a great game so far.
There's the C's. It has caught Angel again. He won't make it out. Round after round, he's caught by the C's, naded out, paranoid up. He's not having a good time. I'll tell you that for free. Navi, 1 man down. But they've returned it.
Yeah, and that is the solo defender of the B site, not that the knowledge is there. Safe will be unable to use his Viper's Pit, and the rest of the team now looking to try and set up in towards this C site. Now the lockdown, I would expect it to be utilized here. Just able to garner them that extra space. Stun already going in. No, actually Zipan's just going ahead of it. Facing straight into the site. Rolling Thunder, but it was actually too late. Didn't matter. Xiao had already killed everyone. And Runner's position is going to be real. He's going to use the showstopper. Audacious. Sure, he's killed the planter, but there's so much time. But he was looking to try and give an opportunity. Some space to Sender. Does he check the close corner? Is Artis even expecting him? He half checks it, and because of that, he loses the fight. It's unfortunate.
Really is. The fact that he even spins to the right, it shows Artis the gun barrel. Yeah.
I also think Sender's the only 2 kills was when he ran through that smoke on C. You remember those 2 entries he got, and then they lost it 2v5?
Yeah.
Those are the only kills he's had. So both players are having a bit of a rough time.
Yeah, but
Xiao was the one that got that?
We bring in the body bags.
Xiao let go of the spike. I thought it was the player close.
Yeah, so did I.
Xiao let go of the spike and picked him out there. Well, he's on one.
No surprise here, Paranoia goes through on A, but what they're missing is the nade, is the C's, is the snake bite. You know, everything that was thrown down last round. Snake bite eventually. But Sender has always been an Odin enjoyer, especially on this map. The thing is, though, it's hard to even use. Just look at his position. What are you going to do with it here? If you go into tree and start wall banging, you're dead because they're going to walk out.
It made more sense when he played Viper. Like when he was playing Viper, he was able to snakebite delay and then he'd spam as they try and run through. Now he doesn't have any delay utility anymore, unless he's just going to put a smoke down and spam through it, which is exactly what he's going to try and do.
No, I mean, you just can't. They're going to flank you on site. Without a player here to back you up, it's a target on your back. This guy is insane. A battle that I'm not going to say is favorable most of the time, but maybe Sanders had other experiences. Still, it lines up this time as he goes down. Vitality have to fight their way back through. Viper's Pit to work with, and Trex, well, he can pull in the Nightfall, but that peak timing is near perfect. Angel doesn't get the kill with it. Zipman only good for one, revealed up and taken down. The numbers not looking great. Navi still have Xiao's ultimate online and ready to work with, but they only need Artis. He found one, he tasted blood, and he's not letting go of it now. The lockdown eventually coming through, but Kix is nowhere to be seen as he's ran to the other side of the map, saving this rifle over for later on. Let's see if this one hits. We had a rough molly over on Bind. This one's on
he doesn't
point,
miss
come on.
mollies. No doubt. Not even for a millisecond.
Bullseye.
Did I doubt? I will say, timing-wise, if they were going to defuse that, they would have defused it.
No. That's in case they go for a last-second defuse, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, there was actually a gun on the spike that we didn't see, and he was in case someone went in after the round.
There you go.
But
there
yeah,
you go.
one
you
player
can definitely
can't
make
land
it to
it
the
on
center of the spike
the
after
other
round.
doesn't know how time works. But it's fine. Brimstone Molly.
Maybe he was just practicing his lineup, Tom.
This is a guy, by the way, one kill before this round, just pops 2 heads.
Yeah.
But that is the thing. It's like, I think that the way that Sender used to play that Odin with the Viper, I really enjoyed it. Like, he would put down snake bites, deny them a push, and if they ran through, they were vulnerable, it was never going to happen. The problem is with the Omen, if you're pressured like he was there, especially as a solo defender, I don't see it working anywhere near as well.
And by the time you start spamming, I'll say this confidently because this player's too far away for a fight, really. By the time that you start spamming, they've already closed the distance where they can trade you now, or they can flank you, or they can, like, it's just not as disruptive as a solo hold or with that agent. And we've seen the plant go down. B was wide open, so Navi just walked in. But, well, runner's on his own. I hope he doesn't get killed now. At least his teammates are going to make it there in time. So Sender has his back. But look, 2 players still in main. Out comes Artis. He finds both. In fact, the second player would have done that anyways. Oh no, safe. You can't kill people with a snake bite like that, so it works a little differently. I don't see this one going their way with lots of time already bought by Zipan. The showstopper won't find anything, but then again, they don't expect Kix or Trex to. Kix might even think about saving this rifle. The credit's kind of low. Trex, looks like he's thinking about saving the Stinger at this point. It's desperate times. Nah, into the spike. There we go.
Not wanting to give any orbs this time makes sense. Angel 1 away, but yeah, Kix is just going to hold on to the gun. This has been a great half out from Navi. Bear in mind, again, they lost the pistol. So this was 2-0 in favor of Vitality. Since then, they have lost a single... Why did we need a replay of him not being able to walk through a door? Like, he's suffered enough, all right? Well, Artis very quickly has climbed up that board. As I said, he was 0-4, he's now 5-5. And that was the scary thing. Like, they had a player that wasn't necessarily putting up the numbers we expect. The second he is, this looks more and more dominant. And unfortunately for Vitality, well, I think they have the top fragger in the server. And then the, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th top fragger in the server.
Yeah, the bottom 4. Not surprising when you got 3 rounds. Navi have been able to break through this defense again and again, making it near impossible. Playing on those retakes with the util they have, with the aggression out of someone like Zipan. Vitality have just looked, oh no, like they've been caught off guard. Now, this isn't too bad. Same's actually dropped in, but Zipan's already there. And there comes the orbital strike onto Kix. This is the last round of the half. And it has as much hope in it as many of the others have for Vitality. They are being crushed by Navi. With the final man standing, Trex blinded up, and he still gets the kill. Maybe some momentum for them to pick up with a few more. But even then, the time is so far gone with 4 players to root out of these positions with a molly on Xiao. And no space. Trex can't even get through the doorway. Just a hail of bullets coming his way. And eventually, the result we all knew was coming is on the board. 9-3 for Navi. A very impressive first half out of them. And I suspect a short second half is on the way.
Yeah, I'd say both teams definitely favored on the attack. And we've seen it on Lotus probably more than any other map. Attack side comebacks are definitely possible. The thing is, though, just the way that NAVI are playing. Xiao, Zipan, Sugetsu, all been on form this map. It has been a bleak run. And that's the thing. You have to look at this match for what it is. This is the old gods of EMEA. The FPX Masters winners remade into NAVI, finally, that we were excited for, versus what should be a new super team. Like, you're talking about young superstars being picked up, you're talking about Trex, people saying, like, finally he's got a team that will work for him, the synergy that's been spoken about by the coach. Right now, their first matchup is looking like it might just whimper out. Like, they're not quite there yet. And if anything, for NAVI, I think this is more of a statement that you can't underestimate them. Runner, he's going to lead the charge in this one. As said, he's been fantastic, and he's looking to continue that.
A tough fight up close for Runner, but somehow he makes it look kind of easy. 2 kills.
Spike planted.
The trade out from Kicks. Look at the damage done.
Sender,
Please
Kicks,
don't lose
Trex,
another
all
2vx.
so low. 2v4, the
Last
specialty
player
of Navi
standing.
so far, but now it's a 1vx.
2v5, that's why they're not winning this one.
Yeah, they shouldn't have
need one
killed
more.
Runner yet. They mistimed it. Silly mistake. Sugetsu, headshot still. Okay, 105 done. Only needed to do 30. Kicks is running, so is Trex.
Yeah, I
Of
wouldn't
course,
peek
they're
it
so
either.
low. Point of contact is safe. He's got the corner. In fact, it was Kicks up top and a double swing to follow. Beautiful stuff. Vitality claim another pistol. That is 2 pistol rounds under their belt, Tom, and 4 rounds total.
Yeah. 3 out of 4 pistols so far in this series, and the response after the pistols are done, it seems like, well, I'll be honest, if Navi had won the pistols, both of these maps would have been very fast
Very
indeed.
quick, yeah.
So, yeah, it's good that they've got themselves
That's what we
back on the
needed,
horse, and that's
guys.
the
We're
thing.
so back.
I agree.
So
like,
bad.
I think going into that attacking side, winning themselves a pistol, closing the gap a little bit, I'm not going to count Vitality out just yet, because they have definitely proven in the past that this is their favored side of the map.
It's good to see Save pump them up a little bit, get that morale somewhat higher. Xiao, the downside of his position is he can't get out of here in the same way Sender could. No shrouded stab, but instead he just takes the fights! That is unbelievable!
It's one of those scenarios, Xiao, you're trapped in here with us. And he goes, no, guys, you're trapped in here with me. That is just disgusting. 2 instant headshots.
Oh, I can't believe that.
You know what? I'm trying to come around to the Xiao.
He got
Brimstone.
seasonaded also. Like, he got seasonaded.
I don't think the nade didn't hit.
No, it didn't hit. It didn't. The nade went towards the C's, then he got double peaked, and he
Yeah.
just walks out with 100 HP like, cheers, boys. Man advantage. This is a low, but I just...
Yes. No,
Every time
they
Xiao
haven't-
plays, he blows my mind. We're pistols versus 3 rifles now. A 5v3.
Yeah, and Kicks is also tagged, so those pistols become more and more
Oh
deadly as the
my
seconds
word.
go by. Now, also, you have to bear in mind, most of Navi's utility has not been used
Zip down
because
with
they
classic.
weren't expecting to use it in this round. The stun is perfect. And although it's not a kill, it's safe incredibly low. He's not going to be able to plant, has to get out of position. Even going to get rid of that nano. They know exactly where Artis is. He still has a couple of flashes to play with as well. Maybe just saving those for when his teammates get back around. No, Trex! He was the healthier player. He was the one still standing. And now Kicks is all that remains. The youngster's going to try and face versus 4 players. The oncoming storm of Navi trying his best, but only 15 HP. Landing some shots, but Xiao, the man who started it all, will finish it. They won the pistol, Mitch.
They got the pistol, didn't they? Yeah,
They got the
they were so
pistol.
back, Tom. You said they were so back. You agreed.
Safe said it first.
Say he did.
I was just
He
copying
did.
him.
You were on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
The wheels have fallen off. Look. I mean, the nade's not far. It's close to the center. Just on the wrong side.
He even had
That's
to, he
just
had to use 2 of his
outrageous.
bullets to shoot the prowler. He uses less to kill the other 2 guys. Oh, it's just not fair. It's just not
Outrageous.
fair.
Nice. So best.
Xiao
I
best.
agree. Well, there is a
100%.
reason why he has been playing with this guy all the way to Party Parrots.
Yeah.
It has been a long, long time that these 2 have stuck together.
Back when
Found him on the
Angels found him on the
streets,
street. Yeah.
Toxin screen
Hasn't
down.
let him go ever since. Well, 6-round gap, 3 for Navi to take this series 2-0, and the momentum certainly in their favor. They've just won a round against all odds with Xiao stepping up, sending
Trex
them
is a
hightail
hero
into the other
rifle.
side. Vitality come in with pistols, the rifle on Trex indeed. Let's hope it can do something, because Navi, They're right outside Siege. They're ready for this fight. Just trying to pick them off. They'll give them the space, but they'll make sure it's costly.
Okay.
Safe does
Safe with the
return it.
hero rifle. Yeah, he had it from the beginning of the round.
No, well, he didn't.
No,
he took it off
did.
tracks, but
He did.
he's managed to find the kill indeed.
Okay.
Damage done as they flood into the spawn, and now they've got a decent angle. Not one that they can deny the defuse on, but one that they can fight from convincingly. That nade is huge. It's caught kicks. It's done damage. Runner's force back, and he's dropped as well. Shao picks off Sender, and with 16 HP left, a round that was looking promising, hopeful for the side of Vitality, is now looking near impossible. The recon of a jumping artist just to spot them. Peekaboo, and then they swing in to close it out. 11 found for NAVI, and after a pistol round win for Vitality in the second half, they've fallen apart pretty quickly.
There's something I've noticed in kickoff as well. I do think that there's been a lot of benefits for Artist being back. I think the most prominent one in my eyes is his synergy with Zipan. Like, the way these two play off each other, like, we got a lot of brothers in the scene. They even have one of the twins as their coach. These guys almost play like it. Like, you just can see the natural synergy of them just almost having more fun when they play. Like, the little jumps up, just confidence that Zipan has in the calls. They're looking really clean right now. And as I said, Vitality, they have 4 rounds. 3 of them come off the back of pistols. It is such a bleak scenario. They've got to buy. They've got something to play with. You can already see the aggressive push taken. Almost having that Thrash back online already. And well, the expenditure of basically no utility to get that space.
It's crazy. You say like 3 of those rounds off pistols. Yeah, 50% of their rounds are pistol rounds so far. Like, that is
and then
staggering.
the other is the second round, which
One
should
of
be
them.
a gimme.
Yeah. But then it wasn't.
Yes, it wasn't. Oh, no, it wasn't.
Over here it wasn't.
It definitely wasn't, but
It's
should have been.
back to the drawing board for the Vitality side. I think after this one, there'll be a lot to work on. They'll have a week to change things around at least. They're not the team saddled with the 2 matches this week. That's Liquid. Since they won their series, the tough one. Artis. He was slower to get started, but he found his way in the end. The door opened though, the spike on its way through. Looked like they didn't quite know where they were going themselves. I thought that was a redirect to B, then it looked like a redirect to C. Now they're falling back, now they're going to B. And there's 2 players waiting.
Xiao still has a molly. Oh, and there's a showstopper. Like, this is just ropes. If they put that molly in, that might even just close the round, and now they have to go back in the other direction again. The information there, Artist wins the duel. This is so messy for Vitality. They look completely lost. Sugetsu even peeks into his own molly, and they don't even get a single kill. And Andaluthia flawless. NAVI just diffing Vitality in this matchup, one that we thought would be a close, competitive game going the distance. It's been anything but.
I mean, that round very much just looked lost to me on the side of Vitality. Even before this, the direction back towards B, they started it, they went back, then they go back to B, they go into B, lose a player straight back to C, and the idea was that they cause rotations off the C side.
Also, baiting utility. And they didn't.
Yeah.
Xiao still had the molly at the end of it, because he was like, the showstopper with what, 25 seconds left?
Yeah.
Like, the fact is, Navi's just sitting there going,
It will be 8, but not to win, to push us to an overtime, to fight in the overtime, to fight for a 3rd map, to then fight for Icebox. It's been rough. And only just now, NAVI, they pull out the Outlaw. They have ultis coming online on the side of Vitality that could bail them out of some situations, but with 8 rounds in a row, they're going to need a lot more than just some well-placed ultimates to come out on top in this engagement.
already the amount of control that has been taken. Sent a lot of utility forward. Some of it can be reclaimed. You can see at this stage, Vitality have resorted almost just to waiting in their default. There's an expectation of some sort of aggression, but again, like, the only utility that's really being expended early in these rounds is utility that can be reclaimed, can be retrieved. Now for Sugetsu, that's definitely got a little bit more awkward, but look how far forward Trex is going for this jump peak. They expect there to be a player on the left side. The first duel at least is just going to be a trade, although it is the spike. But even still, we're at the 45-second mark, and Vitality are in their spawn. They haven't hasn't cleared Zipan either. Like, this is so awkward. He's got a nade and a stun to throw in. Like, they are playing so scared at this point. Finally, we're going to see them move with the showstopper, but
seconds left.
that's 30 seconds.
And that's just going to be... Oh, it actually won't find a kill because Artis swung. He had health as well from Zipan. And the kills swing their way yet again. Sender makes it to the site at long last. The spike can be planted, or so you would hope.
Welcome to
But you got to watch out because Seketsu's still here. 12 seconds.
10
Very
seconds
few
left.
to get that spike planted. Safe will try it inside the ult, but here comes a lockdown and a player rushing him around the back. Seketsu with a classic through a Viper's pit. One hell of a way to close that one out.